pages. Katie was a beautiful red crawler tractor. She was very big and very strong, and I bought it because I liked it so much. Anyway, over and under the thank you for sticking with me through the ups and downs of the story time. Read Over and Under the Snow. Well, some of the stuff that we read about in the story. Hungry and chilled to the bone. But I couldn't think about myself. Briggs Martin, illustrated by Mary Azarian. Raise your hand. So, and here we go. The snow is really starting. Anyway, thank you very much for hanging out today in the snow.
It doesn't have to be this big, but anything.
You might be likely to run into if you're out here in the wintertime. Bear and Bunny Grow Tomatoes by Bruce. Wow, heck out of his tomatoes. And Bunny sleeping like a ball of yarn. But when I do, the tomatoes are sure to be colossal. Welcome to Storytime with Ranger Dena. Today we are filming at the Devoto Memorial Cedar Grove on the banks of Crooked Fork Creek on Highway 12 in Idaho. Today I thought Little Fur Family, one of my all-time favorite bear books, we're subdividing genres again. It's by Margaret Wise Brown with pictures by Garth Williams. You're probably going to recognize the artist style because he also did the illustrations for the Little House on the Prairie books and also for the Cricket in Times Square and those follow-up books. So anyway, I like the packaging of the book because it makes the bear have a fuzzy belly. So I'll unpackage the book. And we're back. The book is covered in pretend fur. Just delightful. So here we go with the Little Fur Family. So we start with our beautiful pictures that just make my eyes happy. So Little Fur Family. And you'll understand why I picked this area to read this book when you see the next picture. Look at where they live. And when you look at the follow-up at the bonus footage of our walk through the Cedar Grove, you'll see places where I swear the Little Fur Family could have lived. So, here we go, our introductory picture. There was a little fur family, warm as toast, smaller than most, in little fur coats, and they lived in a warm wooden tree. And it could be the tree behind us as well. The little fur father said good morning one day, put on his hat, and went away out into his little fur world. The little fur mother bathed her fur child, and off he went to play in the wild wood where they lived. And truth be told, I have always wanted to live in a tree. And when my kids were little, I would tell them stories about bears that lived in trees. So anyway, it's a common theme. It was a wild, wild wood. Wild flowers grew all over the ground, and wild winds blew through the air. Wild nuts fell from the wild nut trees, and wild grass tickled the fur child's nose, tickled his nose and made him sneeze. Kerchoo! And I felt like the little fur child when I was walking through the giant trees. They make you feel very small. Kerchoo! That sneeze woke up his grandpa, who lived in a hollow stump. And Grandpa came walking, thump, 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 and walked out of his hollow stump and said, Bless you, my little fur grandson, every time you sneeze. Kerchoo! Bless you, said the little fur child. Thank you, said his grandpa. Then old grandpa went thump, 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 and walked back into his hollow stump. And the fur child went on through the dark and sunny woods till he came to a little river full of fish. The fish didn't have any fur, and they didn't have any feet, and they swam around under the river. The little fur child watched them for a long time. Then he reached in the river and pulled out a fish and looked at it. And then, kerplunk, he threw it back in the river. He reached into the air and he caught a flying bug, and he held it in his hand and he looked at it. The bug didn't have any fur. It was shiny and had little wings. Then, zip, he threw it back in the air. A curious little fur child. Looks like kind of like a ladybug, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought so too. Then he caught a little tiny fur animal. The littlest fur animal in the world. It had warm, silky fur and even a little fur nose. So he kissed it right on its little fur nose and put it gently back in the grass, and the little tiny fur animal ran down a hole into the ground. The sun went down beyond the river. The sky grew wild and red, and the little fur child turned around and ran for home. And just as the darkness got very dark, he bumped into his big fur mother, and she took her little fur child home in her arms and gave him his supper. And there was his father, who put him to bed, and they tucked him in bed all soft and all warm. And they held his paw, and they sang him a song. And I'm sorry, but you do not want me to sing, so I will read you the song. Sleep, sleep, our little fur child, out of the windiness, out of the wild. Sleep warm in your fur all night long. In your little fur family, this is a song. The end. And it was written in 1946. One of my all-time favorites. It just is. Always has been. I love the pictures. I like the story. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did. And I hope you stick around for the bonus footage, because there's two sides to the Cedar Grove. This side that we filmed on has interpretive signs and a really nice little walking path that goes on off into the woods some more. The other side is more just kind of a trail, and so I took a bunch of footage on that side. I found all kinds of flowers and lichens and moss and just fun, pretty things. So I hope that you'll stick around for that, and if you ever come to Idaho or you live locally on Highway 12, it is so pretty. We used to come through here all the time camping when I was a kid, and we would always stop at Devoto Cedar Grove and do the walk and maybe have a picnic. Yeah, so thank you for being here. I hope you have a really good day, and keep reading. And also thank you for all the support, Storytime peeps. Take care.
you.